Well, for more on this, then, Kethevane Gorjestani, our foreign affairs editor, joins me on set. Hi, Kethevane. So, Israel claims that its strikes have set back Iran's nuclear program by 2 or 3 years. How accurate do you think that is?
Well, it's still very difficult to figure out and gauge how far back it might have been set back. So the fact that there's a number that is being given is already a little bit iffy, if you will, because we don't know really the extent of the damage. What we know is that Israeli strikes have indeed targeted and hit some of the most important nuclear facilities in Iran. Several nuclear facilities that were targeted included, for example, Isfahan, which has not only a uranium conversion facility, but also multiple centrifuge production sites. There was also the heavy water reactor in Arach. And of course, when we talk about the nuclear program, what is important is the uranium enrichment sites. There are 3 major ones in Iran. 2 of them are located in Natanz. There's a smaller above ground enrichment plant that has been fully destroyed. This, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. According, again, to the IAEA, the bigger site, the fuel enrichment plant at Natanz, that is below ground, has actually possibly not been hit itself, but the power supply that fed that plant, it seems, has been very heavily damaged or fully destroyed, and any sudden drop or lack of power for a centrifuge means that it could be heavily damaged or really blown out of use. So it seems that Natanz has been heavily damaged at the very least. And finally, there's, of course, the question of Fordo, which we've talked about quite a bit. That's the one that's buried deep underground, under a mountain, the one that would need the U.S. to get involved in order to be destroyed. Little confirmed damage there because obviously the Israelis know that they basically don't have the weapons to actually make significant damage, so they're trying to hit other areas that could be more useful to them. What is unknown right now is whether or not Israel has managed to destroy any of the enriched uranium stockpile that Iran may have had. The IAEA back in May estimated that Iran had enough 60% enriched uranium to make about 9 nuclear weapons if they were to reach that goal. Hard to quantify if any of that has been hit. Hard to quantify how much has been hit and how much it has destroyed or set back the nuclear program. What is absolutely true in that statement by the Israelis is that this is a setback, not a full annihilation of the nuclear program, because, of course, you can destroy a facility. You cannot destroy the knowledge. You can kill the scientist, but not the knowledge. And so possibly Iran could, if they wanted to, in the next few years, rebuild all of that.
Now, Kethevane, Israel has not only been targeting nuclear facilities, contrary to what has been suggested by Israeli officials. So what does that tell us about their endgame?
Well, look, it started out mostly targeting nuclear sites or nuclear adjacent facilities, if you will, but it quickly also evolved into targeting military sites, especially going after the missile program of Iran, so launch sites, storage facilities for these missiles. They have hit quite a few of these areas, more than a dozen, it seems. But they also went after energy infrastructure. And so now you're getting away from the sort of military nuclear infrastructure and getting into the civilian energy infrastructure, especially the areas hit were in the capital, Tehran, including a gas depot, an oil refinery. But they also hit the headquarters of Iran's state media, which is, yes, linked to the regime, but not in any way a military target. There have been high-ranking military officials that have been targeted by the Israelis. They claim to have killed about a dozen, but they've also gone after scientists. Yes, linked to the nuclear program, but technically it seems civilians. And of course, while there have been some very targeted strikes on buildings in Tehran, for example, taking out one floor and targeting some military officials. In other places, you've had actual buildings that have been targeted fully, and there have been at least a few hundred civilians killed in those targeted attacks.
Kethevane Gorjestani, thank you very much.